Well, anyway, I got some Carbon C60 here. This is the one I talked about before. I thought this was the cheapest you can get. This is 80 milligrams of Carbon C60 per 100 milliliters of olive oil. It's from www.purec60oliveoil.com. I just got this stuff in called Good and Cheap. This has 67 milligrams of Carbon C60 per 100 milliliters of olive oil. I think they're both made correctly, with the centrifuge and darkness and stuff. I did notice that this comes in plastic bottles, and I know it's freshly made, but they're not, I don't think these are UV protected bottles. You see, they're pretty clear. So you make sure you keep it in a box, you keep it closed. And one thing I do like about these plastic bottles, though, is if you drop them, you're not going to break them. Plus, when you open them up, it's like there's like a squirter on the end here. You can measure off drops. This, the cap opens up, and it's like you just pour it out. So if I was measuring to put any in cat food or anything like that, it'd be a lot easier to use this one. I've been taking this stuff since December 18th, 2017. Right now, it's January 29th, 2018. So I've been taking it for 41 days, but I really didn't up the doses to higher doses until maybe 25 days ago. And the reason being was that I saw miraculous results on two of my cats. One of my cats, Gold Digger, was one that I found on October 7th, 2017. And she had a problem with her fur. There was like scabs under her skin. The skin was red. Some of the fur was missing in parts of her body. And you could see the redness under the skin, under the fur on her skin. And when I gave her Carbon C60, actually I gave her the brand Purple Power, which was the avocado based. I gave her good doses of that, probably a good 17 doses or 20 doses of that stuff. Maybe a half a teaspoon each time, or maybe a teaspoon each time, I don't remember, mixed in with her food. There was no exact measurement. And she turned around like a miracle, like all her fur came all back in. No redness under the skin, no scabs. Her eyes are nice and bright, no redness around her eyes. And my other cat, who was outside, I think he got hurt by a raccoon. I thought he was a goner. And thought he was hurt really bad on his left, inside of his left leg. I gave him the Carbon C60, also ran his spooky remote. Now, if you know what that is, I talk about it in other videos. With one of his blood samples, which he had some blood laying there, man. But he came back like brand new, faster than I couldn't believe. And he didn't even have like scarring on the leg. It was like gray skin came in with a light fur, like with them really fast. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. That's what convinced me to take a lot more of this stuff. It wasn't the testimonies. And, I heard the story by Cliff High. I don't really trust that guy too much at all. That didn't convince me in the least. I think he was a guy that made this popular. But I did look up, going all the way back into the 90s, there's been articles out there from even major publications about this being used against diseases, cancers, and everything else. But it's not just longevity, but probably quality of life, and that's another thing. They showed in the rat study, not just a longevity study, but they also showed where one group of rats was given a lot of Carbon C60 and another group wasn't given Carbon C60, and they both bombarded the two groups of rats with lethal doses of radiation. And the one that didn't have the Carbon C60 died, and the group that had the Carbon C60 in large doses, they were unaffected by the radiation. And they also tried this with chemicals that destroyed the liver. The group of rats that had the Carbon C60, they were given the chemicals that destroyed the liver. Nothing happened to them. The other group that didn't have the Carbon C60, the rats died. So I don't think it just is about longevity. I think it protects you from a lot of garbage that's out there. I'm not 100% sure by seat of pants how I feel, or some days I feel energetic, some days I don't. I mean, it might be that I have less gray hair already, but I'm not 110% sure. And one of the problems I'm going to have with to checking to see how this actually makes a person look, if it makes them look younger. Like, I'm in my 60s, but I really don't have wrinkles, and I don't have any baldness. I got gray hair, and it's not all gray. It's gray on the side mainly. But I don't really have any wrinkles or baldness, so I can't tell anything going on just yet. I can't even tell if it makes me feel more energetic or not, because sometimes I feel more energetic, sometimes I don't. And my hair is like a light brown color or a dirty blonde color. So if the hair color starts coming in, it's not going to be that noticeable versus gray, going to light brown or like a light dark brown blonde. Like if my hair was black or dark brown, it would be very noticeable seeing color come in. So I think there's something going on, but too early to say. Like I said, I've been only taking this 41 days and probably only for about 25 days or so to heavy doses. So I gotta have, so far I think I only gave the cats like 50 milliliters of the avocado. It was a 250 milliliter bottle. That was $200. This is $224 for 500 milliliters. It's the same strength as the Purple Power. This is a little less strong, but it's less than half the price of that. This is 67 milligrams of Carbon C60 per 100 milliliters. I'm probably going to continue on with this. I think it's good enough. Worth the money. So far I took about 1.3 liters, 1.3 liters or 1,300 milliliters of Carbon C60. Most of it in January of 2018. I did start taking it December 18th, 2017, but I really upped the doses mainly in January when I saw the results on the cats. That's what convinced me. Do I feel any different? No. I'm not going to BS you about this garbage. I mean, I don't know if it's doing all... The cats was what really convinced me that, I saw testimonies on people's dogs and cats and how a dog can barely jump up on a bed before, and I gave him Carbon C60 and he was like a puppy again. And I was like, yeah. Testimonies are like... And people have ups and downs too. I mean, there's days you get up, you don't feel like energetic, and there's days you get up that you feel great. It's sort of like, I don't know what it works like that exactly, but, and then if you're taking something, and you're saying, oh, I feel great because of this, and maybe you just happen to feel good that day, right? Now I trust the testimonies more with the pets, with the cats and the dogs, but then, you don't know. The owner could be talking to him nicer. I don't know. But when I saw the results on my two cats, when they were actually physically, the one I found, now I didn't hurt, my one cat, he must have gotten entangled with a raccoon or something. I don't know what happened with him. And it wasn't like my fault, And he's really good now. He's really good to go. He's in really great shape. Boots. And my other cat, that's one that she found me. And she came over to me all messed up. I took her to the vet and gave her shots and all this garbage and registered her with a microchip and all this wonderful stuff. But she was messed up, and I'm giving her good food, and she wasn't really getting better until I gave her this stuff. And that one really both of them convinced me there's something to this junk. But I think if you got nothing really wrong with you and you take this stuff, it's going to be one of those things you're not going to know, because maybe something that might happen to you 10 years from now might not happen to you. You see what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of good things you could do in your life. Like you could take a little bit of baking soda or maybe some iodine or I don't know, maybe make sure you salt your food with sea salt and take magnesium and vitamin C and vitamin D and get out there in the sun at least 10 minutes a day. I mean, you're not going to see these overnight results with a lot of things, right? And everybody knows like smoking's bad for you. And you can see an absolutely beautiful woman smoking cigarettes left and right, and she doesn't have a wrinkle on her. Hey, you're going to have to wait 30 years, And maybe that's just the way it works with this, something good. You're not going to notice it right away. And most people don't do something if they don't see immediate results. And this thing does cost money. I'm looking for the best deal. This might be the best deal. This is a good deal too. And I'm not sure about what the quality is on this stuff. You know, I think they're all pretty good quality. So I'm not going to get the stuff that cost, you know, $80 for like, you know, that's 4 times the amount of this and 8 times the amount of that. I'm not going to buy that type of stuff. I don't think it's worth it. But if it does work to reverse age people, if that happens, this stuff is going to be hard to get. There's going to be an astronomical demand for it. And I don't think it's really going to work until 6 or 8 months. But I got this stuff. So if after I take this and this, that would be about 2.2 or 2.2 liters of the stuff I had after I take this and this. I'm going to order another liter of this, and then it'll be like over 3 liters. We'll see. I don't know. I can't really tell much lately, you know. I mean, I wish I could say something stupendous and all this garbage. And, you know, I see people on YouTube posting videos. They've been in C60 for, you know, a month or 2 months, and they still look like an ugly old fart to me. I mean, I don't know what the hell. I mean, you know what I mean. I don't see any difference. Like I said, like if I see I don't have any gray hair, I want to say this thing worked like crazy. And it's not that it just would have worked on gray hair. It would have been restoring everything there is about me, because it's just the visible portion where I can say, yeah, look, I could point my finger at something and say, yeah, look at that. But I really don't have like wrinkles on my forehead. I don't have crow's feet around my eyes. I don't have wrinkles on the back of my elbows or none of this garbage. You know what I mean? I don't have wrinkles up around my neck. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm going to go on there. I'm not bald on the top of my head. And the only thing I could say is the gray hair. And I heard the gray hair deal, I'm not 100% sure how well it works on that. But we'll find out. We'll find out. But this looks like, and you know, the one thing, like I said, it's good that it comes in plastic bottles, I guess. But I don't think these are UV protected. So keep the lid closed. And it's a little less powerful than this. But this is less than half the money of that. Now, does that mean it's no good? I don't know. You know, it's sort of like, I think good and cheap actually lives up to its name. I think it is good and it's cheap. So I'm going to be going with this stuff from now on. And, you know, if I see a miracle, I'm probably going to get a few different brands just to make sure, you know, I got the right stuff. But it's too damn early to tell. And that's just how it is, man. So I don't know for sure. But this looks like, you know, I don't know. I saw the reviews. Some people said it was fake. I was like, I don't think it's fake. I could see it's dark color right there, you know. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. The only thing is, make sure you keep that covered up. I'm going to close this right now because I don't want no light fitting on there. This has got in this one I keep this covered up. That's in a UV bottle and it's glass. But I like this for, like I said, it's got a dispenser, like you can put drops or squirts out of it. This, you take the cap off and there's like a whole pile of it comes out. And if I don't want to put, you know, it's kind of hard to measure if I want to put a little bit in some cat food, right? So that's what I like that for too, right there. So right there for the cats, I would definitely want to get that. So just revolutionary health right here. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I flat out don't know just yet. We will find out. But the ongoing quest for, you know, in search of, the deal is this. If this actually does all this stuff, and it's not cosmetic we're talking about here, gray hair, wrinkles, we're talking about life enhancement. That's just, you know, where you can actually see something going on to show that your life is getting power, is getting stronger. So I'm not talking cosmetic garbage here. I'm talking about actual power of life. And even if you don't live longer, if you live with less problems, or you feel more vital, vitality. And to me, that would be worth it right there too. So we shall find out. And right now, none of this stuff is approved by the FDA for human consumption. I should add that. But they did that study with how they found out about the rats living real long. That was a toxicity study. They were trying to give the rats so much stuff to see if it was going to kill them or hurt them. And they found out they lived like over 90% longer. That's how they find things out. And for me, I'm figuring a rat dosage for me is like 100 milliliters of that. So like 2.4 liters of this stuff would be like equivalent to the 24 rat doses they gave to the rat, which were younger at the time when they got the stuff. They weren't really old rats they gave it to. They didn't give it to 60, rats that were equivalent to 60 years old. But I figured that, I'm not even up to half of what the equivalent of the rats were given. That's another thing too. And I'm thinking, I don't know how much of this junk you want to take every day. I am taking quite a bit. And like I said, I already went through 1.2 liters in like 40 days. That's quite a bit, ain't it? So we'll be knocking off all this stuff and we're getting some more. And after I knock all that stuff out, I'll be well over 3 liters of the stuff. So that'd be like over 30 doses of it. If I was a rat, maybe I'm a rat, but but you'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if anything goes on that I can visibly say, aha. Right now, and there might be something working, but I really can't tell for sure.